After I finished my first book, The Naked Gospel, my computer began crashing all the time. So I found myself in the market for a new computer. I went to Best Buy, was looking at all the PCs out there, and then the MacBook. Of course, what I was used to was the PCs. It's what I'd known all my life. And here was this shiny new MacBook that I didn't know what to think of. I was almost ready to buy a PC, but then the savvy salesperson, he had me with one sly comment. He said, you know, you can put that old Windows operating system on the new MacBook. And with that, I was sold. I found myself at the checkout counter with MacBook in hand. I wasn't looking for a radical change. What I wanted was a compromise, and that's what He gave me. It's the same way with the old way of the law and God's new way of grace. We may feel like we're not ready for some radical change. We want some kind of compromise, but God won't have it. He tells us we're dead to the law, we're free from the law, we're not under the law. Christ is the end of the law for those who believe. So, should we bring on a little bit of law with our grace? Well, apparently not. Marie Antoinette, she found herself in the woods, entering a tent, leaving everything of Austria behind in order to grab on to the new ways of France. She was stripped of her clothes, her dog was taken from her, she had nothing left, and then she was joined to royalty, and her identity changed. It's the same way for us. We're to be stripped of the law so that we can be married to Jesus Christ and be His bride, joined to Him forever. And God won't have a compromise. I was on America's highways, finding myself getting ticket after ticket. And then a couple of decades later, I was given the privilege of going out on the Indy 500 track. No limits, no tickets, and no fines. I reached speeds of about 130, 131 miles an hour, but those around me were exceeding 150 and 160. Why was I so conservative all of a sudden? Well, as I got out there, I started thinking safe thoughts. Look at that wall. It's not that far away. You know, that's exactly what happens to us under grace. All things are permissible, Paul says, but not all things are profitable. You know, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty, but in the midst of that liberty, there's also God's counsel, and we might just start thinking safe thoughts. Do we have to behave? Is it a condition for our acceptance? And what do we do with all those behavior verses in the New Testament? One of my wife's favorite TV programs is called What Not to Wear. You know this program? The ladies go into your house, they raid your closet, they pick up your clothes and they say, this looks awful, this doesn't fit, you got to get rid of this for sure, but keep this, but don't keep this. It's the same way with what the New Testament is telling us about behavior. Put on love, put on compassion, put on Christ. You know, who doesn't want to travel in heavenly style? So the next time you read those behavior verses, don't look at them as a condition. They're not a condition for acceptance, but they are what is fitting for saints.